Broadcasting live from the Business Radio X studios in Houston, Texas. It's time for Houston Business Radio. Now, here's your host.
Hello, Houston. Trisha Stetzel here, bringing you another episode of Houston Business Radio. Today's guest is Yara Banks, entrepreneur, HR strategist, and CEO of BNX Business Advisors. With more than 25 years of experience in human resources, leadership development, and business operations, Yara helps small and mid-sized businesses build strong HR foundations, prepare for contracts, and scale with confidence. She's also the creator of Lead Like a Black Belt. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. It's a leadership program inspired by her own journey as a national karate champion, where she applies discipline, focus, and resilience to the business world. Yara's work is all about helping entrepreneurs avoid costly mistakes, lead high-performing teams, and seize opportunities for long-term growth. Yara, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Trisha. It's a pleasure to be here. I am honored and I'm super excited about it. I come with a lot of energy. Listen, I'm pumped. I'm pumped.
Good. I'm glad it's coming through the screen. I can feel it because I've got some here too. So I'm not stealing yours. I'm bringing some energy too.
All right.
So Yara, tell us a little bit more about who you are and how you found yourself in the business that you're in.
Sure. So I am Yara Banks. I'm the CEO of BNX Business Advisors. All the things that she said, that you already said about my business is true, but the easiest way to say it is we sell profit protection. We sell profit protection. So we stop organizations from leaving money on the table or watching it walk out the door by reinforcing their HR infrastructures, right? Working on their leadership and their people strategies. So that's any size business, right? So I just want you to know that we want to work with people who want change and to want to what's the word I'm looking for? You know what? When you get older, this is what happens, right? So we want people who want to work with us. Let's just leave it at that. So I live in Jacksonville, Florida, but my client base is from sea to shining sea all over the country. We pride ourselves in having partners where we have about 10 to 12 different associates throughout the country. So we have partners that can go and be kind of released into different areas of the country in order to do what we do. I am a wife and I am a mom of 6, ranging from age 34 to 11-year-old twins. I am a homeschooler mom. Like you said, I do have multiple businesses. So I stay busy, and for hobby, I happen to do karate. So at age 48, I walked into a karate studio, thinking to myself, so this is how we trick ourselves, thinking to myself, I want to do some exercise. I want some me time. I'm looking for that work-life harmony, but I'm not going to tell anybody. I'm not going to tell anybody because this is my thing. It belongs to me. It's no one else's business. That's the lie I was telling myself. At the end of the day, I was lying to myself. I didn't tell anybody because if I told someone, that meant I couldn't quit if I wanted to. I would have no accountability, right? So I didn't tell anybody. But I didn't want to quit. It was so fabulous. So at 48, I started. Less than a year later, at 49, I was a world bronze medalist champion of karate. And then in July of this year, right after my 50th birthday, a 2-time national bronze medal champion in karate. And I have learned so much from the martial arts that I started Lead Like a Black Belt. There are principles within and disciplines within martial arts that transcend over into leadership, characteristics of good leaders. And so I wanted to bring those out. Things like trust, focus, discipline, humility, those things that are needed to be a good leader are also principles that stand out in martial arts. Plus, aren't we all tired of the regular leadership development training? The same in one ear, out the other, be good to people, mind your man, that plain stuff. So in Lead Like a Black Belt, we have different levels of belts. There's 6 belts altogether. Each belt is a standalone, so they're not necessarily built upon one another. So for instance, our white belt is emotional intelligence. Okay. We have a yellow belt that's communication. Our green belt's accountability. Brown is strategic planning. So you could take different belts by themselves, or you can take the entire all the way to a black belt. A black belt will get you all of those, right? And so what's cool about it is it's transformational. People really are engaged. I wear my whole karate uniform, Trisha. We break actual wood in there, okay?
Yes.
So those are breakthroughs that we need. We actually sometimes need to feel the breakthrough so we can manifest it for real, right? Sometimes we just think, oh, it'd be great if we can get past this. But when you can break that board, you get that manifestation right then and there. And the energy is just amazing behind that. And people really feel empowered by doing that. Now, of course, you got to sign your disclaimers because we're all business people, right? So I'm just saying.
Be careful breaking that board. I'm just saying.
Right. In all seriousness, I tell them, whoever volunteers to do it, I say this every time. Do you believe you can do this? Yes. Because if you do not believe you can do this, you will hurt yourself. More importantly, or as importantly, if you make me believe you can't do this, I will get hurt.
That's right. And then you can't do it. Like,
right.
No, time out. Someone else get in line.
Right, exactly. So you have to be very confident that if you're going to do this, that you believe that you can do it. And even if you believe you can do it and you don't do it the first time, guess what? Do it again. Because guess what? A lot of times things don't happen the first time we try it. So every time, though, they've done it the first time, every single time. I haven't had one where someone hasn't broken it. So that's really encouraging and it's empowering. And you should see I don't know how to put it, the energy, the feel. Everybody in the room explodes and cheers and I'm like, it's really something we want to see people do. Anyway, I think it's important because, like I said, it's transformational. We give them tips they can leave today and go back to their office and implement today. And then we do follow-ups with them, not just a one and done. I want to see how you're doing 30 days from now or 90 days from now. What's changed for you? What do your people say have changed for you? Right? That's what's going to be important. My one of the things that I am certified in is EQ, which is emotional intelligence. And so I give assessments, but not just for the individual leader, but also for teams, but also as a 360, which means your spouse, if you want, your family, if you want, your direct reports, your peers, and your bosses. What does everyone think about you and how you're doing? And that really gives you some introspective into things that you have an opportunity to improve or areas where you're doing really well. Yeah. So all of that plays a role in like being a great leader. Like it really does. So there's that. Besides leadership development, which is something that's near and dear to my heart, we do all other HR stuff too, like the whole infrastructure piece. Yeah. We were just talking about the leadership development because I think that's the biggest piece of it. I believe that's the biggest piece because you could get all the infrastructure together, but if folks have no leadership, they don't know what they're doing, they're not skilled, it's all going to fall down anyways. So those leaderships help build that strong foundation that the infrastructure is built on. Yeah,
that's absolutely true. So one, you guys, if you want to see Yara in her karate uniform, you can go to her LinkedIn page. You just look up Yara Banks MBA and you will find on her picture, she's wearing her karate uniform. She's not wearing it today. She looks beautiful today, but she wasn't ready to come be do lead like a black belt.
I might have it behind me. I could always go.
I love this. So, Yara, I would love to take a little bit of a dive into the HR space because I know you help small to medium-sized businesses, and many of us who are small to medium-sized business owners, may bury our head in the sand when it comes to HR because it's scary to most of us. And you've been in that business for a very long time, and now you use your skills with small to medium-sized business owners. So what would you say to the business owner who is terrified of HR just when you say it?
Get help. I'm going to tell you to get help. it is an area that a lot of people are afraid to touch, and it has to do with their level of confidence, right? If you're a barber, you cut hair really well, but you don't do the other things necessarily well. Get help. If you were sick, you go to the doctor. If you had tax problems, you get an accountant, right? So go get help. Now, people say, oh, it's unaffordable or whatever. I promise you that a couple of hours with a consultant like me is a heck of a lot cheaper than a lawsuit. I promise, right? So, get help to at least get the fundamentals, like at least get your handbook down, get some forms. I worked with a company who came to me. They had 50 employees in 12 states, Trisha. Wow. 12 states. Every state has its own employment laws, okay?
Right.
50 employees. They all work remotely, and they've been working for 2 years. No HR infrastructure. When I tell you she didn't even have a job application at all. Wow. So I had to reverse engineer an entire HR department for them to be compliant. I'd rather not do it that way, but I can if I have to.
And it's okay. We have to start somewhere, right?
Right.
And some of us are starting from ground zero, and it's absolutely okay to be at ground zero.
That's the best ones to work with, Trisha, to be honest with you, because you can get that foundation in from the start. And people don't realize your HR foundation is where your culture comes from. Built off your core values, your mission and vision, and why you got started. All of that's part of your culture. So if you can start that as early as possible, you really need to have policies and handbooks and all of that established before you bring on even one person. You really do. So it's okay. I like working with the smaller companies because it's easier to make change. If I went into Amazon talking about, hey, we need to change your culture, you know how long that would take? You see what I'm saying? So really, it's important to get it in early. And if you have started and you haven't started perfectly, or you have challenges, or there's some compliance issues, get an audit. There's easy compliance audits that you can get an audit to see where you stand and what you need to work on. But turning your back to it, not addressing it, is going to cost you money, and it's going to cost you more time in the long run. At the end of the day, as founders and the C-suite, the owners, right? Our job is to be working on the business, not in the business. You hear it all the time, right? So we need to be working on revenue generating activities, not necessarily managing people. And so if you have a handbook, your handbook should manage your people. It should tell you what to do in case. So if this happens or that happens, you're not losing sleep trying to figure out what should I do. You're being consistent. Your policies and your culture is being consistently applied to everyone across the board, because all I'm doing is, what does the handbook say about that? What does my policy say about that? Okay, so you're not running the risk of treating one person different than the other. You know what compliance is supposed to be. You know how you're supposed to flow through different processes. So yes, get help if you don't know. I mean, I hate to say this, but even if you have to go to YouTube University, I hate to say it, but even if you have to, do something to show that you're trying to get it together. Meet with consultants, because most of, I can't speak for anybody else. For me, my initial conversations are free. I don't charge for those. Okay. Just to kind of give you an idea of where you are and what you need to work on. Because why? I want to make it accessible to all people. At the end of the day, it's not just you. As an owner and a founder, you have a fiduciary responsibility to all stakeholders. And that includes your employees. That includes the people who help build your organization, whoever you have loans out to. Like, you have to be successful, right? And even your family who helps support you through this. Those are stakeholders too. So you want to do it right. And then with that, think about the worst boss you ever had, the worst place you ever worked. And when you think about that, the next thing you want to do is not be that. Right? So get stuff in order, get your house in order so that you can prepare to bring more people on, because you need those more people for growth. But you want them to stay. You want them to be loyal, long. They want to feel valued. You want them to help you create this dream that you've made. You want it to be a reality, and you need people to do that. So they are your biggest assets, and so they should be treated as such.
I love that you say just ask for help, and so many of us are reluctant to do that because we feel, I think, the mindset around that is that we are weak. because
Yep.
we need help. It actually shows strength when we reach out for help. And it also shows knowledge that we are not know-it-alls. We're good at what we do in our businesses. So we need people like you, Yara, to come in and help us with the things that we aren't so good at. And by the way, you guys, no judgment. Yara's
No.
going to come in and have a conversation with you, no judgment in where you're at. And she's going to help you get where you need to go. So Yara, if people are already interested in having a conversation with you,
Yes.
what is the best way to connect?
They can connect on all social media channels. Our website is BNX BA's Business Advisors. So BNXBA.com. So www.bnxba.com. Or our phone number is 904-345-0070. So any way you want to reach out, I'm happy to have a conversation with you. But I need you to know, like she said, no judgment. You have to start somewhere. Every little bit helps. And guess what? You as a leader are being watched. Humility, right? To say, hey, I need help. Honesty and transparency are key drivers of leadership success. And the people around you are watching that. That's huge.
It is.
So, go ahead.
No, please keep going.
I was going to say their professional development. It is our responsibility to continue to learn. As long as we have breath in our bodies, we need to continue to learn. Everybody, I have a coach. Okay. I have a mentor. Everybody should have a mentor, should have a coach, should have somebody who's helping them, because you cannot be the smartest person in the room. And if you are, you're in the wrong doggone room.
This is why I love you, Yara. I know all of the listeners who know me well know that I say that all the time. All of the people that you allow in your room need to be bigger, better, faster, stronger, and smarter than you.
Absolutely.
Or you need to go find new friends.
Exactly. How can you grow and hold you accountable? And hold you accountable.
Yes.
I started a group of girlfriends who are all on their own business. This is called Feet to the Fire. I'm going to hold your feet to the fire. So we get together on a quarterly basis. And okay, what are your goals? What's your Q1 goal, Q2, Q3, Q4? What's happening? How's it going? What are your wins? What are your opportunities? So be able to hold each other accountable.
Absolutely. All right, you guys, you know that I will put Yara's contact information in the show notes. So all you have to do is point and click. Yara, I also know that you have some events coming up. So tell us about those.
Okay, so virtually we have an event coming up on October 15th called the Pivot Principle, right? What small businesses need to know in these uncertain times. So what is pivoting? When are you ready to pivot? What does that look like? How can we pivot? Maybe we don't have additional resources. How do we pull it from inside and pivot? Knowing your customer, knowing what the market's doing, all of that. So that's one, and that's free. That's free to attend. And then the second one is called Workplace Peace in a World on Fire. Now that one is about conflict resolution. Think about the world we live in and everything outside the four walls of our office building, everything going on. And it is being dragged into the workplace. Okay. So how do we manage that? How do we allow for some sentiment of you being yourself, but then allow for productivity and lack of conflict within the workplace? Now that one is a fee of just $59, or we have a buy two, get one free special that you can get for that. But that one's October 22nd. And I think it's huge, especially the world we're living in. I did one similar to that about a year ago. And that's when we just were dealing with Israel and Palestine. It was that much into the workplace. Now add that on to Russia, Ukraine, a lot of the political stuff going on, everything else. And it's in the workplace. And so how do we maintain peace when the whole world around us is on fire?
I love this. Thank you for bringing these amazing opportunities out, Yara. You guys, again, Yara's going to send me these links. I'm going to put them in the show notes, and you can also connect with her through DM or conversations as these are posted out on social. I know Yara will respond to you guys so that you can get signed up for those classes. If it's okay, I'd like to circle back to where we began, which is your Lead Like a Black Belt program. I heard you talk about the two two parts of your program that I'm really interested in, which is emotional intelligence and communication.
Sure.
I think this plays a role in everything that we've talked about today.
Absolutely.
So can we talk about the importance of understanding where we are with emotional intelligence, and what do we do with the data that we gather from that?
Okay, so with emotional intelligence, first of all, it starts with being introspective, looking at yourself. What are my triggers? What things, are my buttons that get pushed? And how do my emotions play a role in my decisions? Then look outward and try to identify the same thing for other people around you. You get to know, you build rapport, people around you. Let's talk about a team, like in a work environment, okay? You get to know those people around you, and you know that Susie tends to be a little more sensitive. So if you need to give her feedback on her work, you're gonna maybe shoot the breeze a little bit. How was the weekend? And then kind of ease onto it, right? But then there's Stephanie, and she's thick as thieves, and she doesn't care. Just spit it out. What do you want? You're stopping me in my day. What do you want? And you just let her know what it is. So you have to have an idea about your people, and then you can identify how I can deliver. We talk about communication, deliver information that will be received the way it's intended to be received. Like I tell people all the time, you have to, like we talk about buy-in, for instance, we talk about getting buy-in. If I decide as in my company that I'm going to pivot, I'm going to go in a different direction, and some of my team members don't agree that that's the right way to go, it's okay. As long as you understand this is the way we're going. You understand why we're doing it, how we're doing it, and how it impacts you. You don't have to agree. Agreement's not part of the requirement to understand. So there are some leaders that get in trouble because they're trying to be everyone's friends. Oh, we're just like a family. That's one of the ones that I know, red flags all over the place, right? Because we will let our family treat us some ways that we wouldn't let strangers treat us. So if you say just like a family, I guarantee you we've got problems. I guarantee, right? So with that being said, we know too much. I want you to have a rapport, but your employees are not your friends. They should not be your friends. There's a boundary that goes there. So when I worked at a client one time that had a lady who'd been there for 22 years, but she only came to work on Fridays for 3 hours because that's all she wanted to work. And they didn't want to go ahead and cut her and let somebody else work full time in that slot, because she only has 2 more years till retirement. We're just gonna let her ride it out. Okay. She's a widow now. She's just like family. We're just gonna let her work 3 hours a week, pay her full time until her retirement.
Okay.
Yeah, that kind of stuff, right? So we can't do that. Oh, well, Susie doesn't come to work on time. She's late like an hour, almost 3 times a week, but she's got kids. So many people have kids who come to work on time. Like we have to be able to have those tough conversations, and it takes us, and we're not having them because of our lack of confidence. That's why we don't have conversations. That's why we avoid conflict, is because of our own insecurities. And by the way, telling someone about themselves, I don't want to say it like that because I'm just kidding, but giving someone feedback, right? Constructive feedback is not a conflict. Conflict, the word conflict has a negative connotation around it, right? But to tell you as your leader that I need something different from you is helping you grow. That's not conflict. So people say, oh, that's conflict. I'm trying to avoid conflict. That's not conflict. That's your job. That's your responsibility to help me lead and grow. So introspectively, what is it about me that's blocking me? Where's the barrier that's stopping me from having these true, sincere, authentic conversations with my people? They're going to help me grow, help my organization grow. What's within me that's stopping me? Is it fear of rejection? Oh, they're not going to like me anymore. They're going to think I'm picking on them. Is it fear of their response? They might get angry at me. What is it? Do you not have the skills to have communication in a conversation that might be sensitive? Then you need some training, and it's okay. You need training, and it's okay. The ability to make the decisions that, yes, Susie, who works on Friday 3 days a week, she's got to go. We appreciate her 22 years. But in order for this organization to move forward, we need that full-time salary to put somebody in there to get that production. Right. It's not personal, it's business.
That's right.
It's I recognize your people.
Yeah, and all of those things damage the culture, as you were talking about earlier, right? Because the people, yeah, that's right. People on the outside looking in are going, well, they're getting special treatment, or you're doing something different with that person. Well, why can't I have some of that? And okay. So Yara, you're going to have to come back. We have to have a whole nother conversation about hard conversations, because I think this is a big deal. And I know we're already out of time, but I've got one last question for you. You are a superwoman. You have 6 kids, you're homeschooling, you run a business, you have this beautiful, multiple programs, but this beautiful program, Lead Like a Black Belt. You're doing events. You also are a champion in this fun thing that you decided to do just a couple of years ago, karate. How do you do it all? How do you balance everything? And what advice would you give to the women out there who are listening saying, I could never do all of the things that Yara is doing?
First of all, never compare yourself to someone else. Okay? That's number 1. Number 2, it is not a balance. It's in harmony. It's a harmony. Okay? So some days I'm in my office till 9 p.m. and I don't get to spend the time with the kids and my husband the way I want to, or I miss out on the movie night because I'm in here working. It's in harmony. You have to have the support of your family so they understand the main goal. Your why of what you're doing has to be so big. My why is, if my 6 kids can watch me build something out of nothing, then they know they can too. And that's big enough to keep me going, right? I do my karate as a way to do for me. That's my self-care. I try to incorporate the family members into the different things that I do. Like especially we do also a lot of community service at BNX. So like if a hurricane comes, we will load up a U-Haul truck and take it to wherever it needs to be. And we do back to school drives and all that. I incorporate the kids and my family into those things so that they are still spending time with me. But don't let it be a barrier that because you're a mom, you still can't go be great. You can still go be great as a mom. Even as a single mom, you could still go be great. And so I want to encourage people to not let that be a barrier. And if you have that barrier, then get a piece of wood and smash it. I was looking for a piece of wood and smash that barrier, because it is not something that's going to hold you back unless you let it. Your only limit is your mind. Your only limit is your mind. And
who's in your room?
Yes.
Yeah. Because you need that support. Oh my gosh, Yara, this has been so much fun. Thank you so much for joining me. I can't wait to have you back. And I want to talk about having hard conversations when you come back.
Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely.
Tell everyone how they can reach out to you and the best ways to connect.
Sure. All outlets on social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. I think we have a TikTok now. I'm excited about that. We do have YouTube. So there's videos where you can see me breaking stuff if you'd like. Phone number is 904-345-0070. And our website is www.bnxba.com. And for those of you who like to read, I do have a book, my second book out, called The Executive Blind Spot: How Misalignment with HR Can Impact Your Bottom Line. So all of that's available for you guys as resources and tools. And I look forward to speaking with you again, Trisha. I look forward to speaking with members of your audience. I really am truly humbled to be a part of the show today.
Thank you. It's been my pleasure. Can they find your book on your website, or do they need to go to another outlet? Okay, yep, fantastic. So you guys go right over to Yara's website to find all of the resources that she's talked about today. And of course, I will include the event resources as well in the show notes. And you can go to bnxba.com, or you can find Yara on social, YARABANKSMBA. That's specifically on LinkedIn. Yara, thank you again for your time today.
Thank you, Trisha. I appreciate it.
That's all the time we have for today. If you found value in this conversation that I had with Yara, please share it with a fellow entrepreneur, veteran, or Houston leader ready to grow. And be sure to follow, rate, and review the show. It helps us reach more bold business minds just like yours. Your business, your leadership, and your legacy are built one intentional step at a time. So stay inspired, stay focused, and keep building the business and the life you deserve.